6:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by J. Yogaraj. First, the headlines. The Tourism Ministry says over 7,000 tourists have arrived within the first 2 weeks of this month. The Planters Association commended the government's decision to allow imports of nitrogen-based fertilizers for the tea industry. The Inland Revenue Department has taken measures to recover tax arrears from the will of Pandora-listed Sri Lankan citizens. The Ministry of Energy says it expects to maintain the current fuel price constantly. News overseas, the U.S. Christian missionaries were kidnapped in Haiti's Port-au-Prince. And those are the headlines. The Tourism Ministry says more than 7,000 tourists have arrived in Sri Lanka within the first 2 weeks of this month. The ministry said the industry, which was collapsed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, is now gradually recovering. It added a total of 7,096 tourists have arrived in the island from 1st of October to 13th of October. Tourism Minister Prasanna Ranatunga says that with the easing of travel restrictions, there is a growing tendency for more tourists to visit the country. The minister also said that the necessary promotional programs are being implemented to attract more tourists within the next 2 weeks. At present, 5,786 tourist hotels were registered with the authority. The ministry said it was also reported most of the arrivals were from India, Kazakhstan, Germany, Ukraine, United States, America, China, Canada, France and Russia. The Planters Association commended the government's decision to allow imports of nitrogen-based fertilizers for the tea industry. The association also requests the government to take measures to distribute the fertilizer stocks quickly. The Planters Association, representing regional plantation companies involved in commercial-scale tea, coconut, rubber and spices cultivation in Sri Lanka. It has noted that the industry has severely been affected due to the chemical fertilizer ban. They pointed out applications of fertilizer for nature and immature tea, replanting of tea and plant nursery operations are vital to sustain the industry. Being the country's second largest export industry, the plantation sector has contributed $1.24 billion in export earnings in 2020. The Inland Revenue Department has taken measures to recover tax arrears from the will of Sri Lankan citizens whose names were mentioned in Pandora papers. The department says it has launched a special investigation project in this regard, and its first duty is to calculate tax arrears they have not been paid for the department. In the Pandora papers, 93 Sri Lankan names and the details of their offshore holdings were included with strong particulars. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Minister of Energy Udaya Gammanpilla says that he expects to maintain the current fuel prices without any change, although relief has not been provided by the Treasury. The price of a barrel Brent crude oil in the world market has reached a 3-year high, $85. The price of a barrel of American WTI oil rose to $82.28. Accordingly, in the past week alone, a barrel of Brent oil increased by 3%, the minister added. Minister of Agriculture Mahindananda Alutgamage says funds required by the farming community will be provided free of charge. Speaking at a function in Gampala yesterday, the minister said a program will be implemented to identify various areas in the island as specific crop villages to provide necessary allocation for cultivation free of charge. He noted 2.5 million rupees will be provided to farmers for this purpose. The minister claimed that if more than half an acre can be used for cultivation, water motors and pipelines will also be provided by the government. Minister Chamal Rajapaksa says a new constitution for the Grama Seva Niladharis has been formulated. It has now been sent to the National Salaries Cadres Commission for approval. The minister made these remarks at a meeting with the trade unions of Grama Seva Niladharis. They had a discussion with the Minister Chamal Rajapaksa recently in order to seek explanations for the prevailing service issues. All the trade union leaders said the new constitution would provide better solution for the issues they are facing today. Minister Mahindananda Gamage says the government is ready to offer a rate of 70 rupees per kilogram of paddy from the next season. He said as the paddy cultivation is organic based and there will be a better demand from the market too. Paddy Marketing Board is set to purchase the harvest at a given rate, the minister added. And that's local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
The Tourism Ministry says more than 7,000 tourists have arrived in Sri Lanka within the first 2 weeks of this month. The ministry said the industry, which was collapsed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, is now gradually recovering. It added a total of 7,096 tourists have arrived in the island from October 1st to October 13th. And that was top news.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watch Live.
Fishermen in the northern province today staged a protest against the Indian fishermen poaching in the Sri Lankan waters. The protesting fishermen were on board. Around 100 fishing crafts sailed from Mullaitivu to Point Pedro, urging authorities to intervene to stop Indian fishermen. They say Indian fishermen are using a bottom trawling and damaging their fishing nets. The fishermen added that they were facing a severe crisis due to the lack of permanent solution to the issue that had existed for many years. And that came to you in Watch Light.
World News.
First, the headline: the U.S. Christian missionaries kidnapped in Haiti's Port-au-Prince. The U.S. Defense Department warns North Korea may resume long-range missile tests. Australia's Melbourne set to end world's longest lockdown. And those are the headlines of the world news. A group of U.S. missionaries and their family members, including children, are reported to have been kidnapped by an armed gang near Haiti's Port-au-Prince. At least 15 people were taken off a bus after visiting an orphanage. Haitian security sources have told news media. Few details are known, but U.S. officials said they were aware of the reports. Haiti has one of the highest rates of kidnapping in the world, as powerful gangs exploit the lawless situation to make money from the ransom payments. The U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency says North Korean leaders view nuclear arms as critical to regime survival, and it is possible we could see a test of a long-range missile over the next year. It added North Korea also will work to improve its newer solid-fuel ballistic missiles, which can be made ready for launch more quickly than liquid-fueled ones. The city of Melbourne, which has spent more time under COVID-19 lockdowns than any other city in the world, is set to lift its stay-at-home orders this week. The Premier of Victoria State, Daniel Andrews, announced the easing of curbs today. The move comes with officials projecting that the state's double vaccination rate reaches 70% this week. The Premier also said there would be no lockdown, no restriction on leaving home and no curfew. By the time the curbs are lifted, the city of 5 million people will have been under 6 lockdowns totaling 262 days since March 2020. And that was World News.
And now in development news.
The government has taken a verdict not to provide priority to start coal or diesel power plants in Sri Lanka. Minister Mahinda Amravira says the initiative is applied in line with the Global Environment Protection Programme introduced by the Global Environmental Protection Forum. He added that the government has taken measures to produce electricity by using renewable energy sources in the future. And that came to you in development news.
Sports news.
The first round of the 2021 T20 World Cup gets underway today with Oman against Papua New Guinea, followed by Scotland against Bangladesh. The Super 12 stage featuring heavyweights India, Pakistan, England, Australia and West Indies begins a week later on October 23rd with the semi-finals set for November 10th and 11th and the final taking place on November 14th. Both semi-finals and the final have a reserve day in ease of bad weather. Oman versus Papua New Guinea match is now being played at the Al Amarat cricket ground in Oman. Oman has won the toss and opted to field first. Accordingly, Oman scored 100. Papua New Guinea scored 129 for 9 at their allotted 20 overs, and in reply, the Oman were 55 without loss in 7 overs short while ago. And that was sports news.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The leading Sri Lankan carton manufacturer, Expect Corrugated Cartons Limited, successfully concluded its virtual investor forum and event for analysis as the company prepares to go public. Expect is making an initial public offering of its shares, which is due to close on 22nd October and will subsequently be listed on the Colombo Stock Exchange. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
The Colombo Stock Exchange, in association with the Securities and Exchange Commission, joined stock exchanges from around the world to ring the bell for financial literacy as part of the World Investor Week 2021 global campaign. The International Organization of Securities Commissions recently launched its 5th annual World Investor Week campaign. And that was economic news.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Weather report.
The Met Department says showers or thunder showers will occur at times in Sabragamu and Central Province. Several spells of showers will occur in Western and Northwestern provinces and in Galle and Mathura districts. A few showers may occur in the Northern and North Central provinces as well. The wind speed can be increased up to 30 to 40 kilometers per hour at times in the western slope of Central Hills, Northern, North Central, Northwestern and Southern provinces and in Trincomalee district. Before we wind up this news broadcast, let's look at the main points once again. The Tourism Ministry says over 7,000 tourists have arrived within the first 2 weeks of this month. The Planters Association commended the government's decision to allow imports of nitrogen-based fertilizers for the tea industry. The Inland Revenue Department has taken measures to recover tax arrears from the well-off Pandora-listed Sri Lankan citizen. The Minister of Energy says that he expects to maintain the current fuel prices without any change. News overseas: the US Christian missionaries were kidnapped in Haiti's Port-au-Prince. With that, we conclude this evening news podcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.